What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Man, happy Monday to you guys. It's really great to be here. Really great to see another week to put in work with you guys. And I appreciate y'all for always locking in on the content, staying loyal to the soil. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you're just hopping in. If you're here for a short time, make sure you're here for a good time. That's all I always say. So make sure you guys keep that live chat spicy. Continue to smash the like button. And again, I always appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. It is a great time to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan, like I always say to you guys. And on Friday, we got some pretty good news. What I call a good news shoot. We added some depth to the safety position, but we're going to touch on a few topics today, especially that one and what it means in the long term. But also, you know, I had a really great Father's Day. I want to give a shout out to all the fathers, all the people out there who are fathers, man, holding it down for their kids, doing everything they need to do, doing everything they want to do with their kids. Dads are one of the more undervalued pieces of the household. You dig what I'm saying? And moms are so significant. Don't get it twisted, but I want to talk about the dads. Dads, man. I don't. One thing I don't do. I don't really take my dad for granted. My dad is one of the dopest human beings on this planet. One of the hardest working dudes I know. Just an overall good human, and he does everything possible to put me in position, put my brother in position, to put our family in position. He's just one of the most hardworking dudes ever, and it's pretty thankless, right? It's being a parent in general, not just a dad, but being a parent. I can only imagine how thankless of a job it is. I don't have children of my own, not yet at least, and I do plan on having children at some point later down the line. But overall, being a son, I pay close attention to the work that my mom has to put in, the work that my dad has to put in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take your parents for granted. It's interesting because we get older, right? And when we're young, when we're under the age of 10 or whatever, before we start to develop our personalities, we look at our parents like they're God, right? We look at our parents like they're the coolest people on the planet. We look at our parents as if they are everything. They can do no wrong. But as you get older, as you start to develop your own personality, as you start to essentially become your own person, you start to convince yourself that you don't need your parents' advice anymore. You don't need your parents' insight. You got it all figured out. I got this. All those things, sure, you may have a good head on your shoulders, yes, but you never want to dismiss the guidance of a parent. You never want to dismiss the guidance of a father. And I can't speak for everybody. There are some people who don't have their fathers in their lives. There's some people who straight up don't know who their father is. You dig what I'm saying? So when you think about it from that perspective, Father's Day, man, it's a really dope holiday. So I hope all of you guys found it in your hearts to show your dad some love. And if your dad is not there, if your dad didn't raise you, show the most important man in your life some love. It could be an uncle who acted like a father figure. It could be a big brother who acted like a father figure. You know what I'm saying? It could be one of your OGs, one of your old heads who really looked out for you as that father figure when your dad wasn't around. It could be your stepdad. Stepdads, they get a lot of hell too. And sometimes stepdads, they just come in and they just trying to just They just trying to navigate. They're not even trying to be your quote unquote dad, right? They're not even trying to replace nobody. They just trying to, hey, listen, I just want to be the best person I can, and whoever you need me to be when you need me to be that person. You know what I mean? That's another role that's hard to be in, being a stepdad, right? I ain't gonna lie though. I told myself I could never date a woman with kids because I ain't trying to play stepdad, because I know how difficult of a job that is. Not just juggling the child's emotions, but also juggling their actual father's emotions as well. You know what I mean? There's some stepdads out here that been in their kid's life since damn near birth, and they don't call him stepdad. The kids call him dad. You dig what I'm saying? So overall, you guys, I hope y'all had an amazing Father's Day, weekend. Over the weekend, I took my dad to see Top Gun Maverick. And man, if you haven't had the opportunity to go see Top Gun Maverick, oh my God. Like, Top Gun Maverick was off the chain. Top Gun Maverick was I'm sorry, it's better than the first one. But when you think about it, it should be better than the first one, because the first one came out 36 years ago in 1986. And technology has gone to another level, CGI, that kind of stuff. But they used real jets in that movie. All those actors, they really had to go through, flight hours. You dig what I'm saying? Like they really had to go through flight hours to really be in that movie. And taking my dad to see Top Gun on Father's Day was one of the dopest experiences, because when you think about it, they were so calculated. You got to give Top Gun Maverick credit. The people that put that movie together, the people who decide when it comes out, they're clever. They're unique. If you know anything about the Top Gun story, the Top Gun narrative, you know that Goose, he died in the first one. Goose died during a training exercise. And Goose was Maverick's best friend. Goose also had a son in that movie as well. Goose was the closest thing Maverick had to any sort of family figure, family member. Maverick's dad, was dead. His mother was dead. Maverick had no family but Goose. Goose died. He felt like he lost everything. So Top Gun Maverick picks up 36 years later. Goose's son is an adult now. They call him Rooster. He's in the military, and then he's a aviator. He flies jets, a jet fighter. And Tom Cruise, Maverick, he was that father figure to Rooster, or at least he tried to be. He tried to be that father figure. And it was so interesting watching their relationship blossom and then wilt and then blossom again, because you saw Maverick, that he loved that kid, and he was just trying to protect him, and he was trying to hold on to the little family he did have left. You feel me? And that's what I mean by, family is everything. Your parents are everything. Rooster had no dad. His mom passed away. He had nobody. All he had was Maverick, and all Maverick had was Rooster. Rooster was always at odds with Maverick, because Maverick, I don't want to spoil the movie for you guys. But if you ever get the opportunity, go see Top Gun Maverick. One of the best movies I've seen this year. Great movie, great writing, great cinematography, great music, just great action, great dialogue. It was just an awesome flick. So make sure you guys go see Top Gun Maverick when you get a chance. My next movie I got to go see is Jurassic World Dominion. That's what I got to see next. Now I heard some indifferent things about it, but nonetheless, I'm a big Jurassic Park fan, so it's kind of hard to screw it up if you ask me. But let's move on. Let's talk about some sports, you guys. So over the weekend, on Friday to be exact, the Philadelphia Eagles, they brought in a safety. And if you ask me, they needed it. Anthony Harris, Marcus Epps, we still don't know what we're going to get from them in the long term. Anthony Harris, we pretty much know what he is, right? But Marcus Epps, you're still trying to figure out how good he can be. What's his ceiling? What's his floor? You dig what I'm saying? I feel like his ceiling and his floor are constantly rising or shifting, right? I mean, we've seen him in various situations, and he's been productive. He's always been productive when on the field. That's one thing I can say about Marcus Epps. He's always been productive when he's on the field. And he's always had that mindset of, I'm going to leave my mark on this field, even if I'm on here for 5 plays, 10 plays, 1 play. He wants to leave his mark on the turf. And I respect that. He plays fast, he hits hard, he attacks the ball. He's a pretty good safety. But how good can he be? Is he starting worthy? Is he starter worthy for a 17-game season? That's what you got to ask yourself. So when the Eagles decide to bring in veteran safety Jaquiski Tartt on a 1-year deal, now the details of the deal haven't come out yet, but it's a 1-year deal. But when you think about them bringing in veteran safety Jaquiski Tartt, you have to consider what their plans are at that safety position. They clearly don't have the utmost faith in Anthony Harris. They lack depth. Kevon Wallace is there, but Kevon Wallace hasn't really shown a propensity to be consistent. That's not to say Kevon Wallace can't turn it around, but Kevon Wallace hasn't really been a consistent contributor on defense. And he came in with high expectations because of his lineage, the school he went to, being connected to Brian Dawkins. We put a lot on Kevon Wallace's shoulders. And by us putting a lot on his shoulders, that caused us to not look at him in the lens that we're supposed to look at him at. And that is the fact that he is a 4th-round pick. He was a 4th-round pick. How much stock do you put into a 4th-round pick in any rate, on any level? You know what I mean? So I think our expectations was a bit too high for Kevon Wallace. And that, I think, is where the disconnect happened. Again, that's not to say Kevon Wallace can't figure it out. Kevon Wallace can definitely figure it out. But when you bring in a guy like Jaquiski Tartt, a veteran, a guy who's been in the NFL for about 7-8 years, spent his entire career in San Francisco with the 49ers. He's been on playoff teams. The San Francisco 49ers have always have been one of the top 10, top 5 defenses over the past handful of years. He's been a part of that group. He's when healthy, he's been on the field for them over 80%, 83% of the time, each and every year for the past 6 or 7 years. He's been a constant presence on that defense. And, you think about what he brings to the table from a physical perspective. 6'1", 215 pounds. He's 30 years old. So he's definitely in that area where teams start to give up on you. They don't want to give you your 3rd contract. By being in the league 7-8 years, he's already hit his 2nd contract, right? So he's made a lot of money in this NFL. He's fought for it. He's a former 2nd-round pick, so he had to fight for everything he's earned. And throughout his time with the 49ers, out of 116 possible games he could have played throughout his career, he managed to play in 80 games. So he's played in 80 of 116 possible games for the San Francisco 49ers. He's averaged over 80% of the defensive snaps when healthy, and he started 64 games for the 49ers. So they've trusted him in more ways than one. As a matter of fact, he's notoriously known for dropping that game-sealing interception in the NFC Championship game against the Rams this past playoff run. And who did that have something to do with them moving on from him? We don't know. But PFF doesn't have him ranked as one of the top safeties. But when you think about it from the perspective of there's always 2 safeties on the field, he's good enough to be one of those 2 safeties. I think out of 72 safeties or whatever, he's ranked like in the 50th, in the 50 range or the high 60 range or whatever. But overall, when you think about it from this perspective, you have a guy who's been reliable, a guy that's been trusted for several seasons when healthy. He's been trusted for several seasons to be the starting safety for the 49ers. A very elite defense, which means, in a way, he managed to be elite at times himself, right? So, by no stretch of the imagination am I saying Jaquiski Tartt is an elite safety. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is he's shown he can be trusted. He's reliable in big spots, and he doesn't necessarily get killed off him, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how his role is carved out, because I definitely believe he's going to push Kavon Wallace. He's going to push Marcus Epps. He's going to push Anthony Harris. I think the perfect scenario is to have Marcus Epps and Jaquiski Tartt on the field. I think that's the perfect scenario. But Anthony Harris, he may have something to say about that. Are there going to be situations where we have a big nickel situation? 3 safeties on the field. That's plausible. It's very plausible. But overall, I like the signing. Signing to a 1-year deal. The details, I think, have yet to come out. I'm going to actually double check to see if any details came out. But if we're being completely honest, they probably signed him to a veteran minimum, something of that nature. Let's double. So yeah, no details have come out yet. Yeah, no details have come out about the details of the deal, but it's a 1-year deal. That's one thing we do know. 1-year deal for a 30-year-old, low risk, high reward. Played in over 80% of the snaps last year. Started in 14 games last year. Missed 3 due to health. I'm willing to roll my dice on that guy, and he has playoff experience. This defense has a great blend of youth and veteran leadership. You do what I'm saying? Like the defense has really gone to a whole another level. Now they have to put it together ultimately, but we can't deny the strides this defense has taken on paper. We've improved essentially every position, if you ask me. It's so funny. There was a period in time where the safety position was one of our strengths, right? And the linebacker position and the cornerback position was our weaknesses, especially in recent history. But now the linebacker core is arguably one of our strengths. The cornerback position is back to being, damn near elite with Darius Slay, James Bradberry, and Devonta Maddox. And then you have a D-line that has a great blend of veteran and young guys who are ready to just go out and just lay it all out there. I'm really excited to see what happens with this Eagles defense, because you can make an argument they've made the most drastic improvement out of any defense on paper. The Eagles arguably had one of the better off seasons in the NFL. You can't tell me 2 teams who had a better off season. You can probably tell me one, but it's all subjective, all relative at that point. Who can you say definitively had a better off season than the Eagles? Not the Cowboys. Let's just call it what it is. Not the Washington football team, not the Giants. You dig what I'm saying? None of those teams had a better off season. But we gotta put it together. And I'm gonna always say that, because you can have all the talent you want, but does it fit? Does it make sense? And what I like about this team is it has a healthy amount of names you respect. You respect Fletcher Cox. You respect Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce. You respect Darius Slay, James Bradberry. You know what I mean? Jaquiski Tartt has earned some respect. You dig what I'm saying? A.J. Brown is a well-respected guy. Shoot, Jordan Mailata is growing to be a well-respected guy. There's a lot of, I like our team because Hassan Reddick is a well-respected guy. I like our team because it's not just flash. It's not just all these sexy names, right? I like it because this team was built nicely. I think the average age of this team is what, 27? 26, the average age. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So if you ask me, the Philadelphia Eagles are in a great position. But let's take it a step further. And I want you guys to chime in on this. Jonathan Gannon, once again, his name comes up. Why? Because he continues to get everything he needs. He continues to get everything his little heart desires. How will Gannon utilize Jaquiski Tartt? How will he utilize this kid? Well, this OG, excuse me. He older than me. I'm 27. He's 30. How will he utilize this guy? I believe if he can stay healthy, he can be a starter on his team. He has the experience, has the pedigree. You know, he's been to an NFC Championship game, been to a Super Bowl. He was well respected in the San Francisco 49ers locker room. They just wanted to get younger at that position, wanted to move on for whatever reason. But I think he can. He's a little younger, I think, than Anthony Harris. I think he can be a contributor. But again, low risk, high reward situation. How will Gannon use this guy? Are we going to see some big nickel situations? Is Tartt going to be that guy that you drop down in the box? Is he going to be somebody that drops back, in coverage to be that center fielder? What can you expect from Tartt? If you ask me, you're going to definitely see Tartt and Epps. If I had to roll the dice, I think the starters are going to be Tartt and Epps. And then most likely you'll probably see them rotating, based off of who has momentum, who has a good matchup and so on and so forth. If anything happens. The bottom line is this team has a good amount of depth. They're doing good. The moves make sense. This is a very good signing, a very, very good signing. The guy's been productive. But Gannon, it's all on you once again. The defense has been carved out to your liking. Every free agent signing on defense, every draft pick on defense, I'm sure has been co-signed by you. So now your name is on everything. You got skin in the game now, right? He got skin in the game. You signed off on a lot of these free agents and these draft picks. Howie Roseman, his hands is clean. His face is clean. Face card good in the streets. We can't look at Howie Roseman for nothing this season. I don't want to hear Howie Roseman's name because he did everything he needed to do. I don't want to hear nobody, not a content creator, not a reporter, not a fan. You better not peep about Howie Roseman. He's done everything this season, this offseason. And I'm not saying that Howie Roseman is totally untouchable, but for this season, Howie Roseman is untouchable. If you ask me, he earned it that 3-year extension. Shoot. Gannon has no room for error. Wouldn't you agree? He has no room for error. Or do you disagree? Does Gannon have room for error? Gannon has no room to BS us, to BS his team, BS the players, the staff. He has no room. No room. But let me ask you guys a question. We got some people on the live stream. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Do you believe Gannon is feeling the pressure? I'm not saying, listen to me closely. Not do we believe Gannon has pressure on him. Do you believe Gannon himself is feeling the pressure? Do you think he looks in the mirror and says, I got to figure it out this year? There's no excuses. Do y'all think he thinks like that? Because he has no excuses. Do you guys believe Jonathan Gannon is feeling the pressure? Let's go down to leisure. They got him as Hassan Reddick. They brought back Fletcher Cox. They brought back Derek Barnett. They got him James Bradberry. They got him Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. They got him another linebacker in Karan Johnson. They signed Kaiser White. They bring in a safety, Jaquiski Tartt. They've given him everything. They've given him everything. For him to only be here 1 year and for Howie Roseman to make the moves he made to make sure that defense is loaded, there's no excuses. There's none. Do you believe he's feeling the pressure? Not does he have it on him, but do you believe he feels it? That's what I need to know from you guys. Comment in that live chat. I need to know what y'all think. Don't fall asleep on me now. Now, look, I do understand some of you guys are probably working at the same time. Some of you guys are probably driving. Some of you guys probably got the baby in one hand, got the skillet in the other. You trying to cook at the same time. Some of you guys probably on your lunch break. Whatever it is, some of you guys probably, no, it's June 20th. Y'all all better be out of school. It's June 20th. Nobody should be in school right now unless you're taking summer classes. You might be on your run, getting it in, getting those steps in, sweating like a mug. But I'm curious, do you guys believe Jonathan Gannon is feeling the pressure? Does he wake up with his heart beating through his chest? Does he have nightmares of what this season can look like if he fails? Or does he have dreams about what it can look like if he succeeds? Does he feel the pressure? I do. And I don't even work for the team. I feel the pressure for this team. This team is loaded. Loaded with the right pieces. And this is a coach's dream. And what makes it so interesting, what makes it all so interesting is the fact that Nick Sirianni isn't calling plays anymore. Which means Nick Sirianni is going to have a lot more time on his hands during the game. You see, Nick Sirianni gave up the play calling because he wanted to be able to monitor the game. He wanted to constantly be able to stay in tune with what's going on both sides of the ball. But do we expect Nick Sirianni to be on top of Jonathan Gannon more coming into the season because he has so much more time, so much more space or wiggle room to move around on the sideline? Do you expect Nick Sirianni to be hands-on with the defense? Do we expect Nick Sirianni to micromanage Jonathan Gannon? Do we expect that? Is Jonathan Gannon somebody that requires micromanaging? If you ask me, I'm not a fan of micromanagement in any capacity. I don't like it. I don't like micromanagers because when you bring someone in to do a job, when you hire someone, you ask them, whatever, you're asking them or you're hiring them because you believe they can get the job done the way you like it. Now, there's nothing wrong with laying out some ground rules at the beginning. There's nothing wrong with laying out some requests at the beginning. In order for them to do the job, you have to let them know what you need, and then you're trusting them to execute your needs, to execute your requests. But when you start micromanaging, that shows a lack of trust. For all that, you was better off doing the job your damn self. So micromanagement is something I'm not a fan of. Is Jonathan Gannon someone who needs to be micromanaged? I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. Marina Sands, what's going on? Welcome to the show. She says he has got to be feeling pressure. If he can't do well with this roster, he's gone. And those head coach interviews will be also gone. You see, that's a very good point, Marina. Very good point. He's not just coaching for this job. He's coaching for other jobs. I'm surprised he had interviews after the way the defense looked last year. When you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Now, the defense improved as the season went along. I'll admit that. But overall, we weren't pleased with the defense. We weren't pleased with the defensive philosophies. We weren't pleased with the scheme and what guys were asked to do and so on and so. We weren't pleased by any stretch of the imagination. We're not going to be pleased with quarterbacks completing over 80% of their passes, 70% of their play. We're not going to be pleased with that. Hell no. So it shocked me that he even had head coaching opportunities. But he's not just coaching for this defensive coordinator job. He's coaching for his head coaching future. Now, what can we expect from him? I don't know. Maybe we expect some Vic Fangio flavor. You know, you have guys line up one way, and then right before the ball snaps, they maneuver and get to their spots. That's going to be interesting to watch. That's going to be interesting to watch. Let's get some shout-outs out the way. Shout out to Marina Sands. Shout out to Bobby Philly fan. What's going on? Shout out to South Tex. Hope you're feeling good, my man. Shout out to Ryan Rowe. Shout out to Nina Austin, Jorge Mendoza. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. But Jonathan Gannon, does he feel the pressure? Marina says he has to be feeling it. He has to be. Should he be micromanaged by Nick Sirianni? I don't know. I don't know yet. Am I a fan of micromanagement in general? No. No. I'm not a fan of micromanagement. If I hired you to do a job, I'm not micromanaging you. I'm telling you what I need, and when I come back, I expect it to be done the way I asked you. Now, sure, everybody got their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own tactic. Everyone has their own method to their madness. But I expect the job to be done as I asked. Get it done however you need, how you see fit. But I expect the job to be done. Do we trust Jonathan Gannon to get the job done? We're going to find out. He hasn't done anything to really earn my full trust. But let's move on. I have a question for you guys. I want you guys to consider all the moves the Philadelphia Eagles have made. I want you guys to consider all the moves. All of them. Even the defensive ones, the offensive. Consider all the moves that the Philadelphia Eagles have made. Now, think about those moves in conjunction with Jalen Hurts and how they affect him. Think about all the moves the Eagles have made and take it a step further and think about how those moves affect Jalen Hurts. And then ask yourself, what does the Eagles' moves say about how they feel towards Jalen Hurts? Ask yourself, what does the Eagles' offseason moves say about how they feel towards Jalen Hurts? Remember, A.J. Brown. You bolstered the defense with Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Hassan Reddick, Kazir White, James Bradberry, Jaquiski Tartt. Who else? You brought in another tight end. You know, you locked up the offensive line. He has an offensive line, you know what I mean? Think about all the moves. What do all these moves say about how they feel about Jalen Hurts? Think about the moves. Matter of fact, I like where this is going. Think about the moves they've made for Jalen Hurts and think about the moves they didn't make for other guys like Donovan McNabb and Carson Wentz. Think about those moves. Think about the lack of moves. What does this offseason say about how the organization feels towards Jalen Hurts? And then compare it to all the previous off seasons that they've done little to nothing to help the quarterback. There's something about this kid that this organization is glued to, and they want him to succeed beyond measure. You can make an argument that they want him to succeed more than they wanted Wentz to succeed, or more than they wanted Donovan McNabb to succeed. Shoot, even Michael Vick had DeShaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin and LaShawn McCoy. He had weapons. More weapons than Donovan ever had. More weapons than Carson ever had. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when we first got Alshon Jeffrey, you was able to call him a weapon. At that point, Alshon Jeffrey was a very well-respected receiver. Torrey Smith, he was a respected receiver as well, a burner. Zach Ertz, LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi. Those are some weapons, right? But when you compare those weapons to a A.J. Brown and a Devonta Smith and a Dallas Goedert and a Quez Watkins and a Miles Sanders and having the best offensive line in football, I need to know from y'all. We got 13, 15 people on the live show. I need to know from you guys. What do these moves indicate about how they feel towards Jalen Hurts? If you ask me, they love that kid. Like I said, there's something infectious about who he is. There's something infectious about how he moves. You can't deny that. Now, can he translate his moxie, his swagger onto the field? That's something we're going to continue to monitor as his career develops. I think Howie Roseman personally likes Jalen Hurts more than he ever liked Carson Wentz. But I don't think that's just a Howie Roseman thing. I actually think the team as a whole. Now, sure, you got people who are Carson guys, yeah. You got people who are good friends with Carson in general. But this team as a whole, they gravitated towards Jalen Hurts in a way that they never gravitated towards Carson Wentz. Or Don, and some people have questioned Donovan McNabb's leadership. You hear stories about DeShaun Jackson having a problem with him, Terrell Owens having a problem with him. You know what I mean? Now, sure, both of those wide receivers are guys with big personalities, but DeShaun Jackson, I don't know. Like I said, the bottom line is they've made a lot of moves for Jalen Hurts on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Think about it. They've loaded this defense up in a way that they're trying to keep the opponent's score low because they know their offense has not gotten to being quite pass heavy yet. They still are going to have to maintain a balanced approach to the offensive side of the ball. So Howie Roseman has done everything to bolster this defense to help his offense. If you pay attention to last year, we didn't have a problem putting up points. That wasn't the issue. Points wasn't hard to come by. Sure, we could have been more efficient scorers. We weren't the most efficient team as far as scoring, but we didn't have a problem putting points on the board. The team was ranked 12th in scoring. Not bad. That's playoff level, considering 14 teams make the playoffs. So, hey, scoring wasn't the issue. How we scored was the issue. Giving up leads was the issue. So, the moves Howie Roseman has made, he's improved the passing attack by adding a legit number one wide receiver in A.J. Brown. He also added another tight end in Grant Calcaterra. He re-signed Dallas Goedert to make sure he's good to go. Still got Quez Watkins and Devonta Smith. He drafted him. And then you do what you did. You do what you did on the defense side of the ball. You add talent. You add a corner. You add linebackers. You add a safety. You add D linemen. I think Howie Roseman loves Jalen Hurts more than he's ever loved any other quarterback in the Eagles green. He drafted him. He drafted Carson as well. But he drafted Hurts. That was his guy. That was his pick. That's his guy. If Jalen Hurts could pull it off, man, it'd be the heist of a century. It'd be the heist of – it'd probably be the biggest heist in Eagles history. There's no quarterback, in my opinion, that I've ever seen in the Eagles green that's been under more pressure to succeed. I don't think Carson was under this much pressure. Maybe McNabb. Maybe McNabb. McNabb was under a lot of pressure to succeed. You know, Michael Vick, you didn't really know like how good he would be when he first came home. So you didn't really know what they expect from Michael Vick. But you knew he still had them legs. You knew he was still electric. But how good he can be at the quarterback position, you didn't really know. But the bottom line is, I think Jalen Hurts arguably has the most pressure that an Eagles quarterback has had in this century. Maybe you guys agree. Maybe you guys disagree. You feel what I'm saying? But overall, it's going to be a hell of a season to see how this thing pans out for Jalen Hurts. And then you think about if he does well, you're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to pay him. And what that contract looks like, I don't know. I do not know. But I know quarterbacks get paid. Aaron Rodgers making $50 million a year on average. Deshaun Watson making $46 million a year. Patrick Mahomes making $45 million a year. Josh Allen, $43 million a year. Derek Carr, $40.5 million. Matthew Stafford, $40 million. Dak Prescott, $40 million. Kirk Cousins, $35 million. Russell Wilson, $35 million. Jared Goff, $33.5. Carson Wentz, $32 million. Matt Ryan, $30. Ryan Tannehill, $29.5. Jimmy Garoppolo, $27.5. And then there's a big drop-off to Tom Brady, who's making $15 million a year. Where does Jalen Hurts fit in? I'm asking y'all. Contractually, we still have him for this year and next year. But he's going to be eligible to request an extension come season end. Hopefully that season ends in the playoffs. Hopefully that season ends at the last game of the year and we're holding up the Lombardi Trophy. But Jalen Hurts, how much will he command? They say the league average for quarterbacks right now is what, 30 million, 32 million, something like that. The league average of salaries is about 30 million. But overall, if we're being completely honest, Jalen Hurts, they're going to try to get in early with him. They're going to probably offer him maybe 28. They're going to start low. They're going to start low. Depending on how he does, they're going to start low. And if he does well enough, they're going to say, look, we're willing to pay you 28. And then maybe his people are going to say, look, we want 38. And then the Eagles might go up to 30. His people might drop to maybe 37. Eagles go up to like 32. His people drop to 36, 35. You might end up paying Jalen Hurts a Carson Wentz deal. Obviously, the Carson Wentz deal was really extravagant for its time. But right now, a Carson Wentz deal is a steal at the quarterback position because the cap continues to go up. If the Eagles can get away paying Jalen Hurts $30 to $32 million a year, they're golden. But that's if he's good. That's if he's good. And what the Eagles may have as far as leverage is they're going to say, well, look, these guys are getting paid this amount. The Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Derek Carrs, they're getting paid what they're getting paid. The the Deshaun Watsons, the Aaron Rodgers, they're getting paid what they're getting paid. You're not those guys. Do I believe you're better than Ryan Tannehill? Sure. Do I believe you're better than Matt Ryan? That remains to be seen. Matt Ryan is old. But do I believe you can be better? Maybe. Do I believe you're better than Carson Wentz? Well, we traded him for you. So at minimum, he's going to get that Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz deal. That's what I expect. Jalen Hurts is going to get $30 million minimum. If he's good. Only if he's good. But since we're talking about quarterback money, I got to ask you guys something. We got 14 people in the live chat. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the content, make sure you subscribe as well. I'm always open to newcomers to the fold. But that Deshaun Watson contract, the whole Deshaun Watson situation is very messy. I think we all can understand that and see that from a bird's eye view. But that Deshaun Watson contract comes with some implications, comes with some repercussions. Maybe some repercussions that people didn't foresee. Word around town, the NFL hates that Deshaun Watson contract because they fully guaranteed his contract. 5 years, $230 million, fully guaranteed, which is $46 million a year. The second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Think about everything Deshaun Watson has been going through for the past year. He's been accused of sexual misconduct. Whether it's true or not, that's not for me to say. But the bottom line is, dirt has been thrown on his name, and it doesn't look good. On top of that, the Cleveland Browns decided to guarantee him $230 million. So, you guaranteed a $230 million contract, 5 years, to a quarterback that you're not even going to be sure is going to be able to play this year. And he has numerous sexual misconduct allegations pointed at him. And it's debatable if he's even a top 5 quarterback. It's debatable. He's top 10 for sure. But he's paid like he's top 5. Is Deshaun Watson top 5? That's debatable, right? He hasn't played football in a year. We have no idea who he is. But here's the thing, Waylon Assembly. Here's the thing, Waylon. Welcome to the show. Here's the thing. Deshaun Watson's contract can be voided if and only if there's conduct that's detrimental to the team. If this situation gets too out of hand, he could lose that contract. If the situation gets unmanageable, uncontrollable, he could lose that contract. But this is where I really want to get to, though. This is my real question. This is my real topic to you guys. So keep it locked. This is about to get hot. Did the Deshaun Watson contract screw up the quarterback market for teams when they're negotiating with their young quarterbacks? Follow me here. Follow me. Did the Deshaun Watson contract screw up the quarterback market? Did the Deshaun Watson contract make it hard for current teams to negotiate with their quarterbacks who are going to end up with a contract sooner or later? Think about these guys. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, if he can pan out. He's supposed to be the second coming of Andrew Luck. We'll see about that. But Lamar Jackson, who's in a contract negotiation. There are some people who say Lamar Jackson is better than Deshaun Watson. I'm not here to say they're right or wrong. I'm here to tell you what the market is. Deshaun Watson reset the market, earning $46 million a year, not playing football for a full season, having numerous sexual misconduct allegations, and the Cleveland Browns gave him a $230 million deal, fully guaranteed. On average, that's $46 million a year. What do you think Lamar Jackson is going to ask for when he gets to that table? What do you think he's fighting for? What do you think Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, what do you think the number is going to be for those guys? Guys who kept their nose clean. Guys who are arguably better than Deshaun Watson. Guys who made it to a Super Bowl, like a Joe Burrow. What do you think their contract negotiations are going to look like? I'm telling you, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Ravens, all these teams with these young hotshot quarterbacks, the Cardinals, they are pissed at the Deshaun Watson contract. You want to know why? Because all those other quarterbacks that are due for their contract soon, their agents, they coming for the house. They coming for the kitchen sink, the living room. They coming for the bath. They coming for it all. The stove, the fridge. They want everything. They coming through your window like, bruh, man. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night with those agents making turkey and cheese sandwiches in your kitchen. What the hell are you doing in my kitchen, bro? Listen, I'm coming for what I'm owed. I'm coming for what I'm owed. The Deshaun Watson contract messed the market up so bad. If they gave him that with all that dirt on his name, and he ain't played football in a year, what do you think Joe Burrow is going to request in his representation? What do you think that contract is going to look like? What do you think Lamar Jackson is trying to get? If they gave Deshaun Watson $46 million, you think Lamar not going for 50? Lamar coming for 50. Remind you, the Ravens have offered him contracts. It's not like he's not getting a contract. He's going to get one if he can stay healthy. He's betting on himself. So this is a huge year for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has to stay healthy, and he has to, in my humble opinion, Lamar Jackson has to get to a conference championship. But regardless, he's a franchise quarterback, and he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid equal to or more than Deshaun Watson. You feel what I'm saying? Waylon Sembley says, true, but he didn't do anything with the Cleveland Browns on their watch. It was the Houston Texans. He did his bad things. He did his bad doings. Commissioner suspends him. He still gets his money with Cleveland. That's not the point, though. I get what you're saying, Waylon, but that's not my point. The bottom line is your conduct follows you no matter where you go. It doesn't matter. You see, the Cleveland Browns gave him that contract knowing. Your point would be perfect if the reports came out after he got traded to the Browns. But the Browns knew everything about this guy. They knew everything he was dealing with. They knew he took a full year off. They knew he was dealing with the allegations, and they still gave him the contract they gave him. That's my point. He couldn't keep his face clean, and they still gave him the deal. What do you think Joe Burrow is going to ask for? A guy who made it to a Super Bowl, a guy who's won an AFC championship, a guy who took out Patrick Mahomes, a guy who did it all with no offensive line, a guy who's kept his nose relatively clean. What do you think Lamar Jackson is going to ask for or get? It's hard enough being able to keep teams together because of quarterback contracts. And now you got to worry about wide receiver contracts. And then you got edge rusher contracts. Really think about it. It's going to get spooky for these organizations. Think about it like this. And Josh Allen already got paid, Waylon. Josh Allen, his contract is good. Josh Allen currently makes $43 million a year. He chilling. Mahomes makes $45 million a year on average. Dak Prescott, $40 million. Matthew Stafford, $40 million. Kirk Cousins, $35 million. They good. But Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, those are some of the quarterbacks that are due up for some big money. Wills Duggan says the team money will increase. But still, as the cap increases, the contract request increases. You guys got to feel me on this. If the players know the organizations are getting to more money, the players are then going to request more money. To whom much is given, much is requested, much is asked, much is required. Sure, TV money is going to go up, cap space is going to go up. But quarterback contracts are going to go up. Wide receiver contracts are going to go up. Edge rusher contracts are going to go up. That Aaron Donald contract, he did his fellow players a favor with that contract. Sooner or later, these guys are going to start getting NBA money. And hey, I'm not against it. I want these football players to get everything they owe. They put their bodies on the line. Trust me. I want these guys to get what they owe. I'm not one of those guys that say don't pay your guys. You got to pay to play. But you got to understand what I'm saying, Wills. You got to understand what I'm saying here. It's hard to keep a team together when you pay your quarterback so much money and then you pay the wide receiver. Think about, can you imagine what the cap hit's going to look like when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase get paid? The thing is, your quarterback has to be so elite that he can mask the deficiencies of your team. You can't pay everybody. Everybody can't get big deals. Everybody can't be the Los Angeles Rams. Sometimes people wonder, where the hell the Rams getting this money from? But you got it. It's not as simple as it'll equal out, Duncan. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Really think about how the cap space is broken down. When they paid Aaron Rodgers $50 million, they had to get rid of Devonta Adams. Think about that. They couldn't even pay Devonta Adams. The moment they signed Aaron Rodgers to that extension, they had to trade Devonta Adams. And guess what? The Bengals, they're cheap as hell. If you ask me, you know what's going to end up happening? I think the Bengals are so cheap, they're not going to realize what they have. They're going to try to shortchange Burrow, or they're going to try to shortchange Jamar Chase. Remember, Tyreek Hill's getting $30 million, $31 million. If Tyreek Hill's getting $30, $31 million, what you think Jamar Chase gonna get when he do for a contract? What y'all think gonna happen? Justin Jefferson, what you think he gonna get? I'm not saying don't pay guys, but what I'm saying is we got to be mindful of what it comes with. We got to be mindful of the fact that the Deshaun Watson deal made it really hard for these organizations to be able to pay or justify what they're going to pay their quarterbacks. Waylon says, can't pay Chase and Burrow. Hey, now y'all starting to feel me. Duncan says, yeah, you're right. And I don't believe in those top 7 quarterback contracts. You can't win. That kind of frustrated me, but but get your bag. Waylon says, Bengals going to lose players on defense. Y'all feeling me now? It's going to get real complicated. Listen, I was looking up some of the top contracts, right? And you know what position? You want to know the 3 highest paid positions in the NFL? You want to know the 3 positions that get the most money in the NFL right now? Quarterback, wide receiver, edge rushers. And then after that, you start seeing left tackles. You see the occasional defensive tackle. But for the better part of the NFL's cap space, it belongs to quarterbacks, wide receivers, and edge rushers. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, and edge rushers. And after that, you got left tackle sprinkled in there. You got D tackles sprinkled in there. You might got a linebacker sprinkled in there, or a tight end, or a corner. You got corners sprinkled in there as well. So it's going to be interesting. It makes you think about what Jalen Hurts may command. Now, here's the only thing in the Eagles' favor. They can let's be totally honest. No matter how good Jalen Hurts does this year, no one's going to say, oh, yeah, he's better than Burrow. Oh, no, he's better than Herbert. he's better than Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, or he's better than Lamar. No one's going to say that this year. Jalen Hurts would have to have a extravagant season for us to say he's better than any of those guys. I firmly believe you're going to see Jalen Hurts get a Carson Wentz type of deal, which is actually cheap for this NFL. But I'll leave you guys with that. I want you guys to consider what we discussed here. We talked about adding Jaquiski Tartt to the defense. We talked about Jonathan Gannon feeling the pressure. We talked about how this organization feels about Jalen Hurts and all the moves they've made. We talked about contracts, the quarterback position, the Deshaun Watson deal, throwing a monkey wrench and everything. We've talked about it all. But I want you guys to let me know how you feel, especially if you're watching this after the fact. If you missed the live stream, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys comment below. Make sure you guys continue to hit that live chat. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. I am your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And I got some content coming out later for you guys. Keep it locked.